Good evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting for Bedford Township for February 7th, 2023. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, if Pastor Craig Killinan could come up with Bridgepoint Church and open us up in prayer, appreciate it.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight, and Lord, we lift our prayers to you, the one true God. And God, I pray that even if it seems to be a repeated prayer, that it's still a true prayer, that we would be willing to repent of our wicked ways and follow you. God, in you we have the answers we need, the truth we need, and the hope that we need. So, Lord, we pray for wisdom and discernment and understanding and grace and all of those things that are so necessary for one to be an effective leader. And God, I pray that you would have your hand upon these leaders of our community and upon this meeting even tonight. We ask all these things tonight in your Son's precious and holy and wonderful name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for being here tonight. What a wonderful prayer. Hopefully everybody can enjoy the new microphones that we have, can hear better. So up next we have a public hearing, a resolution to establish the role for the Whitman Drive Special Assessment District. Look for a motion to open a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Support. Okay, motion is supported. Discussion. Okay, seeing none, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. At this time, would anybody like to speak on the Whitman Drive Special Assessment? Okay, seeing none, I look for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Support. Okay, motion is supported. Discussion. Okay, seeing none, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner? Aye. Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0.
So before you is the resolution to approve the roll for Whitman Drive. The amount is $111,320, which breaks down to $10,120 per parcel. Again, the district contains 11 parcels, 6 signed, which is 54%, and includes 65% of the land area in favor of the road improvement. If there's no questions, I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution to establish the Whitman Drive Road Special Assessment District role as presented.
Support.
Okay, motion is supported by Ms. Janizek. Discussion. Okay, could you call the roll, please?
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Okay, moving on to approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Okay, motion in support of Mr. Gore. Discussion. Seeing none, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Okay, item 3, the consent agenda. The agenda committee recommends to approve and place on file A, minutes of the January 17th, 2023 regular meeting of the Bedford Township Board.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support. Okay, motion is support of Mr. Bruning. Any more discussion? Okay, seeing none, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Item 4, we have a proclamation honoring Bedford firefighter Roger Brushaber.
to take center stage? This is a proclamation honoring Bedford firefighter Roger Brushaber. Whereas Roger Brushaber is a longtime resident of Bedford Township, having served on the Bedford Township Fire Department since February 4th, 1973. And whereas Roger Brushaber, over the course of his service to the Bedford Township, is currently recognized as the longest-serving volunteer firefighter on the Bedford Township Fire Department. And whereas Roger began his career with the department at Lambertville Station number 47, serving faithfully and dutifully in the capacity of many ranks, including lieutenant, captain, and assistant chief. He is known by those he serves on the department as an upstanding individual whom everyone likes and can depend on. And whereas Roger and his wife Mary has created a legacy of service on the department that now extends 3 generations to include his son Jeff and grandson Jeff II. And now, therefore, be it resolved that upon review and consideration, and with the deepest appreciation and sincere thanks from and on behalf of the citizens of Bedford Township, the Bedford Township Board hereby congratulates Roger Brushaber, a Bedford Township firefighter, on his milestone of service, having served 50 continuous and dedicated years on the Bedford Township Fire Department, and for the many contributions made to the citizens of Bedford Township. Congratulations.
Great job, Roger.
You want to do a quick photo? One more. Do another one without me. Well, we thank you so much for your service. And we're honored to have people like you in our community. We need more people like you. And I know firsthand last night I had to call for an ambulance. And they were there responsive. There was a volunteer within the neighborhood who was over within a couple of minutes. And it was just a great experience. And we appreciate everything you guys do. So really, all the home missed meals and time away from family, it's such a sacrifice. So we thank you. Okay, up next, anybody else? What? Oh, anybody want to leave? Go ahead. Take your time. Thank you. Okay, up next is public comment. Comments limited to 5 minutes for board agenda items only. Come on up.
It appears to be on. Gail Kane, 1056 West Temperance. I wish to address 8 F and G, and let's see here. What else will we hit tonight? Number 1. Part of the department budgets give privilege to spend it on things that they need. It is my understanding that 8F and 8G are on and have been approved in the budgets for these particular departments. I've attended the ARPA meetings, and per the sheet that I got last, I haven't gotten the updated one as yet, but according to this sheet, these same vehicles are mentioned as being paid for with ARPA money, but there is nothing in the packet that indicates that that's where this money is going to be coming from. So maybe it would be such that we stick with the budget and buy these vehicles with the budget money and let the ARPA money be spent for items that do not get township budgeting. The other issue I had to speak to is number 10, is that my understanding is that license for the Quimby's is being gifted to the new owner, who is Rich from Forest View. And since it is gifted, there's no permission or anything that has to be done from the township. But in the packet, it states that the public has a right to voice concerns regarding this. And it may be of interest to those people who live over there, since according to the packet, it states that there will be outdoor entertainment and outdoor liquor disbursement on the facilities. At least they have the right to do that. So to me, that's a little bit of a concern as to the public getting full knowledge of this stuff. And lastly, while you may approve and lavish tonight's prayer, I feel it would be in the best interest and fairness of the township public, who isn't and aren't all evangelicals and don't all attend that particular church, that instead of having select pastors give prayer, that we follow the road commission board practice or the same procedure as the Monroe County commissioners. That would be fair, and it would be non-prejudicial. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Any more comments?
Me,
Come on up.
I'm here. Lamar Frederick, 3254 Deer Creek Drive. I'm here to comment on 1A. I hope those folks on Whitman Drive receive the same largesse that those on Quail Hollow got. Free roads. I only have, by the way, Mr. Supervisor, I only have half the information, so this is another one of your half-truths. So when I get the rest of it, I will bring the actual dollars and cents in. But I don't know why some of our citizens should enjoy a free road, if that's true, when the rest of us have to pay, particularly since I'm paying $4,000 for my road. But that's, of course, another issue for you guys to look at. But I will bring in all of the information related to the cost of that. So, Mr. Supervisor, a half-truth today. I'll have the rest of it.
Good. I'll give you the whole truth. The DDA funded the road for the neighborhood. No, your public comment, are you done?
You can't respond to me.
I'm not responding, I'm just telling the board. The DDA did fund the neighborhood within the DDA, because they can, and they did, so. Okay, any more public comments? Okay, all right, moving on. Okay, to 8A, vouchers for payment, Ms. Hirschberger.
I'd like to make a motion that the following vouchers be approved for payment. General Fund, $80,561.46. Fire District, $18,321.63. Fire Equipment, $34,149.05. Downtown Development Authority, $2,331.23. Library Fund, $10,515.89. American Rescue Plan, $17,392.70. Stony Brook Brookwood, SAD, $26,475.06. Whitman Drive, SAD, $924. Downtown Development Authority Construction, $100,856.25. Building Department, $6,631.76. Sewer O&M Fund, $1,459,015.46. Trust and Agency Fund, $3,762 for a grand total of $1,760,936.49.
Support.
Okay, motion is supported, Ms. Januzak. Any discussion?
I just wanted to let everyone know that of the $1,459,015.46, $1,245,000 is to pay off sewer bond 6 for the sewer treatment plant.
All right, could you call the roll, please?
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Janusek?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Prony?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Okay, item 8B, approval of the 2023 poverty exemption resolution and guidelines. PA 253 of 2020 amended MCL 211.7U, which requires the Township Board to approve and adopt poverty exemption guidelines on an annual basis. The attached resolution and policy has been updated with the income levels as approved by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services of 2022. In addition, you will find the new poverty exemption application as approved by the State Tax Commission. In the past, we had created and used our own application, but since the passage of the PA 253 of 2020, we must now use the state-approved form. I respectfully request Township Board approval of the attached poverty exemption resolution and guidelines in order to stay in compliance with MCL 211.7U. I look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2023 poverty resolution and the application and guidelines as presented.
Support.
Okay, motion is supported. Discussion? Okay, could you call the roll, please?
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Janusek?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Prony?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Okay, moving on to 8C, approval of 8 Monroe County Road Commission contracts. Okay, the first we have a single chip seal from Secor to Douglas on Concierge Road, in the amount of $28,767. That is covered by the Monroe County Road Commission. Okay, the second one we have.
Do we have to do these individually?
Thought we did in years past, didn't we?
What's that?
Individually?
We need to do these individually, yeah. Yep,
And we might as well vote and
Vote
they're
on
going on?
at a time.
one at a time, yeah.
He's asking to go as you.
I think it's just give an overview.
Oh, I was just going to say that we can make a motion on that one now. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the $28,767 Monroe County Road Commission contract. That funds are being provided by Monroe County Road Commission for Secor to Douglas chip seal.
Support.
Okay, motion is supported. Any discussion? Okay, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Ms. Janusek?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Prony?
Aye. The motion passed 7-0. Up next, we have Adler to Monroe on Clegg Road. That's 0.59 miles of a single chip seal. The cost is $17,636. 157 of it is pavement marking, and that'll be township's cost.
Go ahead and make a motion that we approve the single chip seal on Clegg Road between Adler to Monroe for $17,636.
Second.
Okay, motion is supported, Mr. Steiner. Discussion? Any more? Okay, could you call- Oh, go ahead.
I just want to make sure that when we send this in, maybe we could put a note to make sure that they don't start this. I know they said they won't, but to make sure they don't start this till the restoration is completed, because we don't want them to mess up a road after we pay for it.
So the water line was recently completed. That's why we didn't do this last year. They do have some restoration work with yards. We just don't want any skid loaders going in the road and turning, so we're going to make sure that they're completed before, we go further with that. So I'll make sure of it.
Okay.
Okay, could you call the roll?
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Up next, we have Adler from Stearns to Concierge in the amount of $18,811. The total project cost is $37,622. This is shared with Whiteford Township. They have gotten some questions about chip sealing a road that was just paved last year or the year before. Was it last year or the year before? This is something new that they're doing. After studies, they feel it's best to seal them up the year after, so they don't go through wear and tear of a winter and they get the little cracks that water can seep into. They feel it's best to do the chip seal. Trudy did do a lot of investigative work today, and I appreciate it. Looking into options of what we could do. This is a unique road because we do share it with another township, so we don't really have many options of, hey, could we fog seal it and double micro it? But there was some questions about whether we should be fog sealing them or doing a micro on top of them. And a micro is just like a slurry seal on top of it. It's what Jackman Road has out here. Makes it a lot nicer. But on a road, a local road like that with low traffic, it's just not recommended. So I think it's best to stick with the single chip seals for now. Plus, it's hard. Also, not many people throughout the county do the fogs. So it's hard to get a contractor to come here and do that little bit of work. It'd be a lot more expensive too. So
Yeah, the Monroe County Road Commission did say to fog seal it would be better, but they can't get anyone to come do it. So the chip seal is the best. And I believe Whiteford already approved this.
That's
Whiteford approves it next week. Next week.
You talked to them though?
Yeah, I talked to them
planning on.
today. Yeah. But it should last 7 to 10 years. So, okay, I look for a motion.
Make a motion to approve the single chip seal for Adler Road from Stearns to Concierge for $18,811 with the Whiteford Township match of $18,811 for a total of $37,622 as presented.
I'll support, but with a friendly amendment to contingent on them approving, or is it just dead if they don't?
If they don't approve it, it's dead.
Yeah.
It's dead.
I mean, you said they already approved it, right?
No, next week.
Oh, okay. I
Next
thought you
board
said they
meeting.
did it.
Yep. If
Okay,
they don't approve it.
Yeah, let's do that. Even though it's natural, go ahead and add that.
Okay.
Okay, motion supported, Mr. Gore. Discussion anymore? Okay, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Up next is Samaria Road from Whiteford Township line to Secor. 1.5 miles of the single chip seal. Township cost is $27,190. Look for motion.
I'll make the motion for the single chip seal on Samaria Road between Whiteford Township line to Secor in the amount of $27,190.
Second.
Okay, motion is supported by Mr. Steiner. Any more discussion? Okay, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Ms. Janasek?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Up next is Route Road from Lewis to Crab. This is a shared project with Ida Township. Our shared cost is $14,011. Total cost of the project is $28,021. Look for a motion on that.
When is Ida voting on theirs, Paul?
What's that?
When's Ida voting on their share?
I believe they've already passed it.
Okay.
I talked to their clerk, Sarah, last week.
Make a motion to approve the Route Road single chip seal Lewis to Crab for a shared portion, Bedford Township 14,011, Ida Township 14,011 for a total of 28,021, contingent upon Ida Township also approving.
Support.
Motion is supported, Mr. Gore. Any more discussion? Okay, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Ms. Janasek?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Okay, the next is Erie Road from Lewis to Minks. We have 2 miles of zone patch and a hot mix asphalt overlay. This is one of the last projects that we've really held off on and patched as long as we could. We could let it go and keep patching, but this has been the recommendation from our engineers and the road commission. We have done work over the years on it. Basically what they're going to do is put this on top of the road already that we have, so the drainage will be better. And hopefully, I don't know if many of you drive it often, but it's like a roller coaster. I mean, it'll level it out a little bit. So the amount of this project is $319,000 and $319,42. This won't be a project to where we pay until next fiscal year. So this budget cycle, we can budget for it for next fiscal. So I look for a motion.
Is that because of when the work's going to be done?
That'll be when the work's going to be performed and when the bills come in. So typically, right now we don't have a current 5-year asset management plan. It ended in last year. So currently right now, Manica Smith is working up something so we can prepare and plan for the next 5 years. Put it in our capital improvement plan so they know how to properly budget for it, and then we can budget better for it. So we don't have to, we'll know exactly where we're at each year. So.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and make the motion that we approve the zone patch hot mix asphalt overlay for Erie Road from Lewis Avenue to Minks in the amount of $319,000 or $319,042.
Support. Okay, motion is supported. Mr. Bruning, any more discussion? Okay, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Ms. Janasek?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Okay, this is Vienna Road from Crab to Minks. This is a 2-inch aggregate lift. It's a township cost of $26,220. Dirt roads are ones I struggle personally with a little bit, but for the fact that all of our neighborhoods, except for one in the DDA, pay for their own roads. And on dirt roads, we do this type of maintenance work. This would normally be an SAD, but here it is. It's what we've always done.
Do you know the last time you did a half mile in Vienna?
It's been quite a while. We would have to look in the records, but it's.
I can tell you it was prior to 20 because I went back to 20 looking at other ones.
It's been a while.
Well, that's why I didn't know. Yeah.
I think a lot longer than that.
I'm sure it has been, but that's all the further I can definitely say it hasn't
Yeah.
been.
We do seal them every year to keep the dust down, and I agree with that. But it's up to the board.
Go ahead and make the motion to approve the 2-inch aggregate lift for Vienna Road from Crab to Minks in the amount of $26,220.
Support.
Okay, motion is supportive of Mr. Montry. Any more discussion? Okay, seeing none, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Final road is half mile from Temperance to Vienna. It's a 2-inch aggregate lift. The cost is with the township of $14,397.
I'll make the final motion that we approve the 2-inch aggregate lift on a half-mile road from Temperance to Vienna in the amount of $14,397.
Support.
Okay, motion is supportive of Mr. Montry. Any more discussion? Could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Ms. Jandisek?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Up next is 8D, approval to accept FEMA assistance to firefighters grant. Chief?
Good evening. First of all, I want to thank everyone for recognizing firefighter Bruce Shaber. It's one of those things that we don't normally see. 50 years of service. So when we do get that, we appreciate the recognition from this township and this board. So with that, we were able and we did get a FEMA grant, which is a AFG grant. It was in the amount of just under $78,000. And what that was put in for was for 2 cardiac monitors. One of which is going to replace a older unit that we have, and then one would be an existing, so we can outfit that ambulance that we did just purchase. With that money, it does require a 10% match, so that would be just under $7,100 that we would have to match for that. So right now, it's just looking for the board's input on whether or not you would like to accept that money or not.
Okay, questions from board members? Mr. Steiner?
Chief, just looking at this, so the grants, the 78,000, our match is a little over 7,000, so you're looking at 85. Total price for these 107,610, so we're looking at an additional 22.5 plus or minus.
Correct.
So that's going to come out of your regular budget.
Yes, and that is also including service and maintenance contracts for the cardiac monitors, all the components for them. And that would be, they have around a 40-week build time, so it would be next fiscal year that we would actually acquire them.
Wow, I'm surprised those things take that long.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, obviously, something like that is, I mean, especially when you got a $80,000 grant and it takes that long, you might as well take it while you can get it.
Well, and that's it. So we will have to eventually start replacing. The goal is if we can start to get replacements every year, every 2 years. This way, we're not replacing 4 or 5 at once. We can kind of do stuff stacked.
Just like your vehicles,
Yes,
just
correct.
like staggered plan. So,
Chief, what's the life expectancy of one of the monitors? You look to get many years use out of them?
So the one that we're replacing is a version 1. These came out in, I want to say, 2001-ish, somewhere in there. So, I mean, you do get quite a few years on them. The version 1s have been kind of, they're off the market at this point in time. And right now we're on version 4. So 4 versions since 2001.
Okay.
So 20 years probably at least.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, I look for a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve the FEMA Assistance Firefighters Grant with our match of $7,090.52.
I'll support with a friendly amendment. Just curious of where the money is going to come out of. Is it general fund, ARPA, firefighters fund?
He said it was coming out of the firefighters fund.
Coming out of the firefighters fund?
Correct.
Okay. 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 Any more? Could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Peroni?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye.
Okay, the motion passed 7-0. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. And then also just to let you know, Captain Dale could not be here tonight, but he was instrumental in obtaining this grant. So I
Okay.
just want to give him recognition for that.
Are you
We have-
looking for approval for this purchase right now also?
So yes, we can do approval for that too right away. Like I said, it is going to have that 40-week build time, but if we want to do the approval for that, we can streamline it.
Okay, board have any comments or questions with the current pricing for the cardiac monitors?
Does this lock us in the price if we wait like 2-3 months to approve it, the price could go up, or are we
Correct.
locked in?
Yes, they've been seeing price increases pretty consistently.
Okay.
I'd rather get it locked in.
Yeah.
Okay, I look for a motion.
I'll make a motion that the chief can instruct the company Stryker to proceed with an order of the 2 life packs as quoted in the amount of $107,610.06. And part of that payment will be coming from the FEMA grant of $77,995.68 and the township general match of $7,090.52.
And the remainder coming out of the fire department's budget.
Yes.
I'll support.
Okay, motion supported, Mr. Gore. Any more discussion? Okay, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, item 8E, appointment to the Fire Advisory Board. I'm requesting the board to appoint Mr. Soroka to the Fire Department Advisory Board, term ending 12/31/23, to fill out the remaining term for Mr. Lear Welch. Mr. Soroka is more than qualified with his educational background and experience as a deputy chief in Toledo. Currently, he is not on any other committees.
All in his application, he only lists 17, or his address, is that Toledo address, or is that a Temperance-Lambertville address?
I believe Pine Valley is a Toledo address.
No, it's Temperance.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Is
right
it?
down, it's right down here off of Jackman Road.
Okay.
'Cause they got the same similar numbers down off of Glendale and Toledo.
Yes, it's before you get to Stearns, west of Jackman. It's a subdivision back in there.
Okay.
It's amazing how police know this community like the back of their hand.
It's growing leaps and bounds.
Okay. Look for a motion.
I make a motion to appoint Richard Soroka to the Fire Department Advisory Board with a term ending of 12/21/2023 as presented.
Support.
Okay, motion is supported by Ms. Januzak. Any more discussion? Okay, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Item 8F, approval to purchase a Ford F-550 dump truck for the maintenance department.
Bless you.
This is something that has taken my department quite some time to track down. It's being purchased off the Michigan Maya deal from Gorno Ford. Not all dealers participate in my deal. We did contact Friendly Ford, and they did not on the contract. They're not on the contract. The truck came into inventory and is ready for us to purchase. Otherwise, you must order. So, no, that's for the F-150, the dump truck. The spec was spec'd out by Pat Thatcher, and this is replacing the 2005 dump. But the same thing. They're coming from the same place. So the with the dump truck. We do have $120,000 in the budget for a dump truck. It has been approved by the ARPA committee for this to come out of ARPA funds. So the $120,000 could remain into the budget, and we could replace the 1994 next year or the year after and have 2 updated trucks. The 1994 is a great truck. We could always keep that in reserves for when one's in the shop or when we need an extra one for a plow or whatever, or we can sell it. But what's the board pleasure? It is being built right now, and they are holding it for Bedford Township. But if we decide tonight that we don't want it, they'll just sell it to somebody else. So they're very hard to come by. What's my deal anyway, so
a couple of different options. You know, it's either ARPA funds or we have the budget for it. If we use the ARPA funds, then we can use the budget to free up to buy additional vehicles or vice versa. Right. If we use the budgeted funds, then we'll just use the ARPA funds to buy one of the other vehicles.
We could, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is I would say next, the special meeting coming up for ARPA funds, we're going to pretty much set where the funds are going to go. Okay. So that probably wouldn't be available for it. I would assume after that meeting, we're going to designate where all the money's going to go because we have all kinds of projects.
I'm in favor of using ARPA funds for these types of big ticket items. If you got to do it either way, that's my opinion.
Well, as we've discussed and we've talked to Mr. Miller and he's done a lot of research on this, we can also make a purchase and reimburse. If we tie this motion tonight to ARPA funds, I will vote no. If we vote to purchase this and then the next meeting we talk about the entire ARPA fund plan, which is supposed to be at a committee of the whole to present everything, then I would possibly say yes to vote then. But individually and piecemeal, I would vote no if this is contingent tonight on that.
To me, it don't matter to me either way.
And like I said,
we can always stick more money in the budget for future. We should put some in there for a capital improvement plan anyways. We're putting that together. There hasn't been a capital improvement done. So we're putting one together.
There's meetings for that tomorrow too.
Meetings for that. So we'll have a plan for our vehicles and get them all updated and put money away each year for those. So that's something that hasn't been done. So okay, we'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we purchase the Ford F-550 dump truck for the maintenance department through the Michigan My Deals in the amount of $116,546. And we'll take it out of general fund.
Support.
Okay, motion is supported, Mr. Montry. Any more discussion? Okay, could you call the roll, please?
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Ms. Janasek?
Aye.
Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Okay, the next is for the building department. It's a Ford F-150, and this is through the Michigan My Deal as well. I'm looking for the board to approve a Ford F-150 extended cab 4x4 for the building department. This truck will replace the 2011 Ford F-150. The truck is being purchased off the Michigan My Deal through Gornell Ford in Woodhaven, Michigan. This truck has recently come into the dealer's inventory and is ready for delivery. It's another truck we've been looking for quite some time. We've held off this many months to find it through My Deal. It's been very difficult. We thought about going out and getting bids from different companies, but this had popped up finally, and so they are holding it for us till after this board meeting. So
I can let you know that the building department has plenty of money to pay for this.
And their budget for this was $55,000. The cost is $43,149.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the Ford F-150 for the building department through the Michigan My Deal as presented in the amount of $43,149.
Support. Okay, motion is supported by Mr. Bruning. Any more discussion?
Just real quick on the My Deal, is that just something through the state of Michigan that, because
Government entities.
Government contract pricing.
I need
We
to get
get
one of
the-
these, because I've been looking at trucks, I've been looking at a lot of them, and I haven't seen anyone with this well equipped for under $60,000.
Yeah, you
That's-
you can't find them used for that.
Yeah.
And personally, I think we should roll over our vehicles more often. Because we get them at such a great deal, we should probably start keeping our vehicles 4 and 5 years. And when they're out of warranty, sell them and buy new. You know, because we do spend a lot of money on maintaining our vehicles.
Are we gonna auction off the 2011 or?
So, currently right now, we're down in the ordinance department vehicle, so we're waiting on the sheriff's department vehicle to come to us that has 63,000 miles. So Shayla will drive this for a little bit, but next meeting, I plan to bring all of our vehicles, the 3, what are they called, the 4, the black ones.
Explorers?
What are they? No, not the Explorers.
Crown Vics?
Crown Vics.
Oh, the Crown,
Three Crown Vics.
those old cars.
Dennis's truck, the Ford Expedition that has a blown motor. I plan to bring all those to the board and clear out our lot of older vehicles. And so, okay, we have a motion and support. Could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Ms. Janasek?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Number 9, comments from the public. Comments limited to 2 minutes. Come on up. Uh-oh, looks like she's going down a rabbit hole. Christmas gear and all.
Gail Kane, 1056 West Temperance. First off, I want to wish everyone a belated Chinese Lunar New Year. Who knew? The year of the rabbit. With the goal to go down the rabbit hole to expose the crooked carrots and flush out all the varmints that are hiding under the tables and behind the closed doors. And to that, I want to give an example. You criticize placing stone on Vienna Road, the location of a county park, but freely you spent park money to improve a pocket park without the park board approval. And I would suggest with all these vehicles that you're flipping and flopping and switching and swapping, that we try to avoid creating a used car lot like we have now. Depending upon how the people do their work or whatever, you have 2 ordinance, they don't work the same days. They could use 1 vehicle. So I don't think we should have all kinds of vehicles running loose to where we would have to worry about them being located in Lansing or some other strange places. You know, we need to be responsible with these vehicles. So that's it. I had other things, but I'll lay low tonight. Bye.
We thank you for your positive and uplifting comments, as always. We thank you. Okay, let's see if we can get some positivity from Lamar.
Beg your pardon?
No, go ahead with your comment.
Oh, thank you. You approved a lot of single seals tonight. You should do a little bit more inspection into whether or not the roads on which these single seals are being placed will in fact hold up for the alleged 10 years. If you want to see what happens when one falls apart, just go over on Smith Road between Whiteford and Whiteford Center Road. And you will find most of the gravel that they put on it is now in the shoulder because there are too many cars that go up and down through there, and they have kind of torn it up. So again, one of the things you should be looking into is whether the roads will support a single seal or a double seal, because they are different. So I just ask you to look further into these things before you start approving them. Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. And just so the public knows, we do drive the roads and we do look at all the roads that we maintain. So it's as always, we do look at that. So go ahead with your comment.
Josh Dandercore, 7948 Wiseman Road, Lambertville. Do want to say I'm glad that the ARPA meeting is actually being held at an appropriate time of day so that way people can attend those meetings, and I will be there to participate in that meeting. But I do think that it should not be held at the same time as the park board, and I think that the park board deserves to get some of their ticket items put in the ARPA committee where they can get some things approved that they need to get approved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Comments from board members, Mr. Steiner?
First off, just a note on Quimby's and their request for the license transfer. That facility has had outdoor seating and service in a closed area in the past. They've got to follow all the ordinances. If they break them, they'll find out. So I don't think they're going to have an issue over there. I think Mr. Kenny's done a good job, especially with places like Forest View that has a heck of a lot more activity than he's going to see at Quimby's on the outside. I've heard a couple times mentioned the committee of the whole for ARPA. Looking forward to when that's going to be. ARPA investments, I know we said we had 3.1 million. I just did some quick math and went out to some calculators and show 3.1 could get us about 10 to 15 grand a month in interest. So if you give us an update, I know you said you were talking to the investor to move some of this money around that, and if we've moved any of our other 21 million, any other investments as well.
Okay, Mr. Montreux?
Nothing for me.
Mr. Gore?
It's been brought to my attention, and I've been driving around town and seeing, can we get the Christmas lights down, please?
Nope. I'm not taking mine down till it gets warmer.
Not yours. The ones in Samaria are still up, Temperance is still up, and there's some in Lambertville still up. And so I've had some people talk to me about them. And
It's embarrassing and it's frustrating. Every year I talk to the maintenance guys to line up the bucket truck, and they had that all set and ready to go, and the bucket truck's in their shop.
Okay.
We really don't have another bucket truck locally. It's one of them things, you know, I mean, we could try to go rent a truck and an operator and spend a couple $1,000s probably doing it.
Is there any way, can they be unplugged so we're not paying?
I mean, they'd have to get up there with a ladder to unplug them, you know, but I'll find out an update tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Other than that, everybody have a good evening.
Mr. Bruning?
Nope, everybody have a good evening. Wrestling team's still doing good. We have Wednesday, Saturday, so the mules are still doing good there. My Christmas lights are still up at my shop, and I'm not taking them down till it gets warmer, Joe. So too bad. Everyone have a good one.
Mr. Januzak?
I'm going to echo Todd, but I'm going to say good luck to Bedford's wrestling team. They are heading into team and individual districts and regionals the next couple of weeks. So good luck to all of the boys who are wrestling those days. Rick, I'm still working on that information with tax deadline. It's a little crazy right now, but I am. Yep. Right? I wish. So I'm working on that still. I will have an update really soon. But everybody have a good week.
Okay, Ms. Hershberger?
Just a few things. I am so happy that this board approved that dump truck. I have been trying for 8 years to get a new dump truck. Every supervisor keeps saying no, they would do it, then the board would say no. So thank you very much. It's a smaller dump. It's going to get into the cemeteries easier. It's something that we have needed for years, so thank you. As far as a comment from the public on the roads and how long they're held up, I had a lot of issues with a lot of these roads and the paving and the chip seal, so I did do a lot of research. I looked on MDOT. I looked everywhere I could. I looked at other townships, other counties, what they were doing. Everyone said the same thing that Monroe County told us. This is it. This is what you do. The only thing that I would have done more was a fog seal. Unfortunately, Monroe County cannot get fog seal done because we only have a few roads that would need it, and no contractor will come in for the short length of road we have. But other than that, the chip seal is the way to go. That's what everyone's doing, and it's lasting. From everything I read, every other county that's done it, approximately 7 years it's giving these roads. The Township Hall will be closed on Monday, February 20th to observe President's Day. The Clerk's Department, as always, was chosen by Michigan for an audit, so our election was audited. We usually get audited every election. This time it was for Precinct 12 and our AV2, which is our counting board for the absentee ballots number 2. We passed with flying colors. They were very impressed how organized we were, so made it through another one. We're getting really good at it, though, because we get chosen every time.
Of course.
I don't know if, Paul, you were going to just remind everybody about the ARPA meeting, when it is?
It's February 13th. It's a special meeting.
7
7
p.m.
o'clock here in this room. So.
And then, like Paul mentioned earlier, the planning department is getting all the information. They've been requested to get it by the planning commission. They're trying to get the CIP up and running, and hopefully they received all that information for the meeting tomorrow to start gathering it, and planning commission working on that and getting our CIP up and running. Other than that, everyone have a good evening.
Yeah, the capital improvement plan is so important for this township and future boards and for future residents. This building, when it was built, there was no capital improvement plan put in place. As soon as this building was built, a capital improvement plan should have been put in place, and things should have been being budgeted from day one and planned for. And that's what we're doing now. Unfortunately, it wasn't done for us, so we've got to do it for the future. Plan for things, parking lots, roofs, buildings, upgrades, so that there's not surprise, 15 years from now when you've got to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on something. We're planning for it. We put away for it, and we save properly. In 15 years, a board could have to spend $250,000 on a whole HVAC system. The system wasn't set up properly for this building, so that'll be something that they have to plan for, and we're going to do that now. So I really appreciate the efforts of the Planning Commission and the Planning Department. Jody, I know it's a lot of extra work for them. We're doing what we can do to help, and to get them all the information. So hopefully that goes smooth, and this board can adopt it, and we can have a solid plan. And it's a working plan that you can always change. So I appreciate the efforts. I do want to thank the fire department for their quick response with me. They're exceptional in response, and their advanced life support. They were the only ambulance that came, and it was quick, very professional, and I was very impressed. I want to thank the maintenance department for their snowplow efforts. That snow was very difficult. We did get a few complaints about the snowballs it left. It was very difficult to plow. I did have talks with our crews about getting as close as they can to the curbs. I would recommend to people just wait to shovel your driveway. Typically, we're done 7 hours with all 127 neighborhoods, and then you won't have to shovel the edge of it twice. So we will come by. There's no way for us not to push the snow to where it goes in your driveway. It's too many neighborhoods try to do that. So we do the best we can. When we do get major complaints, if there was a bad spot left, we go back and clean it up. And the only thing we're doing is assisting the road commission. So the road commission comes back 3-4 days later, because typically it takes the road commission about 4 days to get in the neighborhoods. They'll come through, and then they salt them, and then they clean them up. So what we're doing is opening up the roadways for people within the first 8 hours. So between the maintenance department and the Stone Co., we got it done within this was about 12 hours because of how heavy it was and how difficult it was to move. I do apologize about the lights. Every year I stress on that because Christmas lights are up in February. It's embarrassing. Not unless they're out of business. You can, it's a little different. But when they're,
get up on that roof.
But things are going very well. We're trying to get our lot cleaned up, get some of these older vehicles out that are costing us money, get some new vehicles in. We're looking to budget this year to maintenance all of our parking lots. Some of them are getting to the end of life, including the one here at Township Hall. Got a lot of water sitting. When water sits on the pavement asphalt, it's very bad. It deteriorates it fast. You'll see that in neighborhoods where water sits and where trees overhang and water drips. Typically those areas are rough. So we're going to be updating a lot of our parking lots this year, keeping them into shape. So we'll be with the CIP planning for those to get fixed. Other than that, looking forward to budget time. Bob, I appreciate all your efforts. He's putting in overtime, coming here on Saturdays and Sundays. Every year his budget gets better and better. And that's because he puts a lot of time into it, and we appreciate all the extra work you do put in it. He doesn't get paid to come in here on Saturdays and Sundays. So other than that, look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I have one more comment that I forgot to make. I want to congratulate wrestler Chase Norbury. This weekend, he broke a 34-year record for the fastest pin. It was held by Roman Rimmer, and Chase he broke that by setting the record with a 5-second pin this weekend. That's all I have.
Okay, we're adjourned.